everyone. My name is Joanna Nelius. I am Reviewed Senior Editor of Electronics, and today we're going to be talking about this lovely little handheld gaming console, the Valve Steam Deck. If you're not familiar with the Steam Deck, this is probably one of the most biggest handheld consoles ever put out in the last 30 years and one of the most highly anticipated ones, even next to the Nintendo Switch. So this little handheld gaming console, the Steam Deck, it has a 4-core, 8-thread AMD Zen 2 processor with integrated graphics, 16 gigs of LP DDR5 memory, a 256 gig solid state storage. The screen itself is 7 inches. It's 800p resolution with an IPS LCD touch display. It's also compatible with Bluetooth 5, dual band Wi-Fi. We also got a headphone jack here. There's a micro SD port. There's support for HDMI 2.0 and DisplayPort 1.4. And the entire thing runs on Arch Linux. There are 3 configurations for the Steam Deck. There's the $399 model, which comes with only 64 gigs of space. There's a $529 model with a 256 gigs of space. And then there's the most expensive one, the $649 option with 512 gigs of space. So here's what we like and love about the Steam Deck. It's really light. My hands, despite how small they are, fit onto it perfectly. My thumbs can reach the thumbsticks right here. I can hit all the buttons. I can reach the back triggers. Another great thing about the Steam Deck is it's super easy to get up and running. Essentially, when you turn it on, you log in with your Steam account and all the games, all of your settings, your friends list, everything that you're used to on the desktop version gets ported over into the console. You can also use it as an emulator. So if you have any old Nintendo, PlayStation, any old games that are knocking around, you can emulate them on the Steam Deck. And you don't even need to know a bunch of Linux commands to get it up and running. There's actually pre-installed emulator platforms like Dolphin, BSNES, GBA, and Citra, and DuckStation. Those are all just some of the emulators that you will find in the Steam Deck. That kind of brings me to the last really amazing thing about the Steam Deck is just how great Valve has been about rolling out these updates that improve the user experience of it. When I first reviewed this, I was not thrilled with the keyboard in desktop mode at all. It was super not responsive. It was really wonky. The keys were all misaligned, and it made navigating through the desktop mode really difficult. And that's where you need to go if you want to emulate games on your system. There also wasn't a battery indicator to let you know how much battery life you had left. So I was playing a game and it died on me. However, the keyboard is so much better now, so much more responsive, and it looks really nice. You know up front how much battery is left, and there's just a lot of other UI improvements. Marginally, that said, there are still a couple things that we don't like about it. Mainly, one thing is the battery life. Compared to something like the Nintendo Switch, which gets about 5 to 8 hours of battery life, you're lucky if you're going to get 3 to 4 hours out of the Steam Deck. It mostly depends on what game you're playing. So if you're playing more of a high fidelity game like Cyberpunk 2077, it's going to suck that battery dry a lot faster than if you're playing something like Stardew Valley. It also takes a while to charge as well. So while it's definitely portable and you can take it, with you places, it's really only good for mobile gaming at maybe 1 to 2 hour stretches at a time, unless you're cool with like, bringing your power adapter with you and just kind of chilling near an outlet for a while. Going back to the storage space, that's also something that we wish was different in this. We would have loved to see at least like a terabyte option, just because a lot, again, going back to the whole high fidelity games thing, that those games take up so much space. So for instance, a game like Cyberpunk 2077 takes up 65 gigs of space on the Steam Deck. So the base model, like you can't even install this game on the base model. If you're installing Stardew Valley, that's going to take up a lot less space. But if you're somebody who has a lot of games on rotation, and let's say you're somebody, who's used to having a PC gaming rig or even a laptop with at least 1 terabyte to 2 terabytes of space, you have to kind of make sure like you monitor what games you put on this thing. Only put on the games that like you're really into at the moment. So it feels very reminiscent of older like Xbox and PlayStation consoles when you don't have enough space to load up all of your games, and games aren't getting smaller. So that's going to be something that probably people might find frustrating. Lastly, there's the whole Steam Deck verification of all of their games, which again continually gets better. When we first reviewed the Steam Deck, which was like February of 2020, Valve only had about 300 verified games. And when we last updated our review, which was like June 2022, Valve now had over 3,000 games. So overall, Valve Steam Deck Pros, it's surprisingly comfortable, incredibly easy to set up, and it has tons of game emulation support. Some of the cons: its battery life is super short. There's no storage option for 1 terabyte of space, and Steam game support is still trial and error at this point, but it's getting better. So, should you buy the Steam Deck? Yes. Absolutely buy the Steam Deck. This is a wonderful PC gamer companion. It's not going to replace your main rig. It might not even replace like one of your traditional consoles or your Nintendo Switch, but it's a lovely thing to wear if you just don't want to sit in front of the TV, or you don't want to sit in front of your computer, or you're traveling, you're on a road trip, you're on a long flight. Like, this is going to provide you with enough entertainment to kind of get boredom to fall to the wayside. It's super lightweight. It is comfortable. The build quality is absolutely excellent. And if you're big into PC gaming or just big into gaming and you like to emulate old console games, then y'all are going to be in the best possible position to not only buy the Valve Steam Deck, but you're probably going to be the happiest with it. So if you're interested in learning more about the Valve Steam Deck, head on over to review.com, and thanks for watching.